somewhere in the late 1940s, this camp began. And this land was made available to the folks in the Pueblo Quarterly meeting. And they began to dream about what to do with this land. Interestingly enough, my own life began about that same time. My life has been so connected with this camp that everything that happens here seems like it's a big deal in my life. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to share in this part of it. I have a lot invested in this whole process. Along about the 60s, as the yearly meeting began to really dream about what this place could be, it became a camp, a summer camp, where kids could come up and get away from the town and learn about God. And it was a real blessing. And it's about that time that I began coming as a camper. And eventually, I spent several summers here working on staff. And a number of these things just started instilling in me this dream that I sensed around me as I was a part of this. And one of those things that was a really key factor, even then, was a lady that was working in the kitchen. She was the cook. Her name was Ethel Clark. And I understand that she's got a couple of grandsons here with us today.
Nephews.
Nephews? Oh, I guess, okay.
Nephews.
I guess Larry and Doug Dillon are here with us. So there you guys are. It's been a long time. Good to see you guys. Ethel was such an inspiration. As a kid on staff, you didn't always see that. You saw other parts of Ethel, but there was something about Ethel that she had a dream that God had put in her heart. And she saw things about this camp that had not happened yet. She saw the possibilities and the potentials. This was a dream that God Himself had given to her and others around her. This isn't an individual's dream, this is God's dream. And it's been passed on. Ethel was just a very instrumental individual in all of that. She eventually went from cook to camp manager, director. And I can remember talking with Ethel, standing right out here on this hill, and having her say, one of these days, we're going to build this building here with these, nothing but a big wall of windows, so we can just stare at Pikes Peak, that $1 million view that we have out here. And it was an amazing thing over the years to see this dream be caught by others. The yearly meeting began dreaming the same dreams, and we began to realize that this camp was in itself God's dream. And He's given it to us. He said, I have this idea of something that needs to be done for the broader scope of the church. But I need a peculiar people to do a particular ministry.
Speak for yourself.
And he looked at this group and said, this is where I want to do it. This is who I want to do it. And so it's grown and it's expanded over the years, and it's a far cry from what it was when Ethel walked these grounds. But it's, this building today that we're celebrating the finishing of, is just a small part of the whole thing. And I would just like to, at this point, we've got about 3 different ribbons up here to cut. So, at this point, I would just like to call up Mary. Where's Mary? Right here, okay. Mary's going to take over as our new presiding clerk. And the first order of business that she gets to do is to cut the first ribbon. We've got a couple others, but this is the yearly meeting ribbon. And all of you who are, or who over the last 50 years have had anything to do with the yearly meeting, anything to do with helping to move this dream along in any way, shape, or form, just raise your hand. Have you been a part of the working out of this yearly meeting over the last 50 years? Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Mary?